nearly 1 hour, Biden faces a slew of questions from a dozen reporters as he stands defiant to prove that he is the man. The U.S. Secret Service, FBI and ATF are probing the assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump during a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Investigations revealed that 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, a resident of Butler, was the subject. He was neutralized within minutes of the attack. A large quantity of explosives were recovered from the shooter's car. The FBI says the shooter is believed to have been working alone and his political leanings are unclear. There's still no clarity of the motive of the attack. The FBI's investigation into the attack on Trump's assassination attempt has revealed details of the gun used in the shooting. According to the authorities, the gun used in the shooting was an AR-style rifle. The FBI says the semi-automatic rifle was bought legally. Investigators believe the weapon was bought by Crook's father. Questions have also risen on possible lapses by the snipers in neutralizing the suspect, who allegedly moved across several rooftops for the attack. Secret Service Chief Kimberly has been summoned by the House of Representatives on the 22nd of July. The Republican National Convention is set to get underway in Milwaukee. Presidential contestant Donald Trump arrived in Milwaukee on Sunday. He will be participating in the convention. The 78-year-old former president will be formally nominated as the presidential contestant during the convention. The U.S. Secret Service has said that no change has been made to the existing security plan for the Republican National Convention. Secret Service clarified their position following the assassination attempt at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The agency emphasized that the event is a special security event and said that highest level of efforts had gone into the preparations for its security. The day after the assassination attempt on Republican presidential contestant Donald Trump, U.S. President Joe Biden has asked citizens to cool down temperatures amid a heated election campaign. Biden was addressing the nation from Oval Office about the political rhetoric leading to extreme polarization within the country. The statement comes as several Republicans held President Biden's hostile election campaign directly responsible for the assassination. Biden termed the situation a testing time for the U.S. as he urged people on both the sides of the spectrum to ease up on extreme political views. U.S. President Joe Biden's election campaign has visibly toned down harsh criticism of Donald Trump after failed assassination bid on the Republican candidate. Within hours of Saturday's shooting, Biden's campaign has pulled down TV ads and suspending other political communications. This consisted of Trump's May felony conviction in New York State court relating to hush money paid to a porn star. Tensions continue to mount between Israel and Hamas, with the militant group withdrawing from the truce talks. At least 15 people were killed by Israel on a UN-run school sheltering displaced Gazans. According to Hamas, 2 missiles targeted the upper floor of the school, which was housing thousands of displaced people. Most of the deceased include women and children. The IDF claims that it was tipped off about the presence of Hamas militants in the school. The attack comes day after the targeting of Hamas's Khan Yunis commander Mohammed Deif. Hamas said Deif is safe and is coordinating operations against Israel. Terrorists have attacked an army cantonment in Pakistan's Bannu city. The suicide attack has been reportedly carried out by a group, Jaish-e-Furzan Muhammad. According to initial reports, a suicide blast caused major damage to nearby buildings and several people were injured due to the roof collapse. Intense firing is still ongoing. Rwanda is going to polls on Monday to elect its next president. More than 9 million eligible voters will be casting their vote for the president and the lawmakers. Provisional results are expected to come in by July 20th. Incumbent President Paul Kagame is predicted as the favorite to win. The 66-year-old has ruled the Central African nation for almost 25 years. Many voters say that they would prefer Kagame, praising him for pulling out the 14 million-odd population from 1994 genocide, emphasizing growth and implementing effective social services. The Nigerian Drug Enforcement Agency has seized various quantities of cocaine and opioids reportedly headed for the US, UK and Cyprus. This included tramadol, pentazocine injections, morphine sulfate and ketamine, among others, while the agency also intercepted a consignment of 440 grams of loud synthetic strain of cannabis coming from Canada to Lagos. The drugs were hidden in soles of shoes, clothes and other items. KP Sharma Oli will be taking oath as the Prime Minister of Nepal for the 4th term today. The head of the Communist Party of Nepal, UML, will be sworn in as the 13th Prime Minister of the country. The Communist Party will run the government in coalition with the Nepali Congress. According to a deal, the Nepali Congress will be a part of the coalition with 88 seats. The CPN UML will be allotted 78 seats. Further, Oli and Nepali Congress, Sher Bahadur Deoba, will alternate as Prime Ministers for 18 months each until the next elections in 2027. Another journalist has been shot dead in Nowshera district of Pakistan's northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, making it second such killing within a month. Journalist Hassan Zeb was killed when unidentified assailants on a motorcycle opened fire at him. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province has seen a wave of attacks on police security forces and anti-polio vaccinators in recent weeks. At least 6 firefighters have lost their lives in a runway car in KwaZulu province in South Africa. Officials say 3 firefighters died on the spot while the other 3 died in hospital. This comes after firefighters found it difficult to tame the fires owing to the difficult terrain in the region. The fires continued to rage as firefighting aircraft attempted to douse the flames, with crew dispatched on the ground to stabilize the situation. The death toll from the runway fires has gone up to 13. The Met Department has also warned of a potential runway fire in the western parts of KwaZulu-Natal province. In Nepal, 11 bodies have been recovered and at least 7 of them have been identified after massive rain triggered landslides swept 2 buses into a river on Friday. Rescue teams continue a search for over 45 more people who are missing after the tragedy. Most are feared dead. A team of 300 rescuers have been deployed. Police teams are also using rubber rafts, divers and sensor equipment to carry out the search. Well, only 3 people appear to have survived the accident. The landslide in Chitwan district pushed 2 buses over concrete barriers. The vehicles then went down a steep embankment at a depth of at least 100 meters from the road, after which they fell into the swollen Trishul River. In India, Assam, which has been under deluge, has seen major improvement on Monday as water levels have been receding fast across the state. The IMD has predicted rainfall in some regions. 2 people died in Karimganj and Nilam Bazar regions on Sunday night, as per a report by the State Disaster Management Authority. The total death toll in the state has now reached 93. IMD has issued a rainfall alert for parts of Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka and Goa. Schools have been closed in several areas due to heavy rains. Rains lashed parts of India's national capital, New Delhi, creating traffic jams and waterlogging in various parts of the city. However, the showers did bring some respite from high temperatures in the city. Minimum temperature settled at 29 degrees Celsius, which is 1.8 degrees above the season's average. The IMD has predicted rainfall in the national capital over the next 5 days. It now seems certain that Trump trade will gain even more steam as global financial markets assess the impact of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump on his presidential campaign. And this after President Biden's re-election campaign was jeopardized by his poor performance in last month's debate. A series of bets again to gain traction began. These bets were based on the assumption that the Republicans' return to the White House would bring about tax cuts, higher tariffs and loose regulations. However, it was anticipated that the trades would gain traction as Trump rallied his followers and garnered sympathy through his recovery from an earshot at a rally in Pennsylvania. Bitcoin soared beyond $60,000, which may be a reflection of Trump's crypto-friendly position. China withdraws cash from its banking system for a 5th consecutive month as currency depreciation pressures mount. The People's Bank of China drained $414 million of cash through its medium-term lending facility on Monday. The bank also held the rate on its one-year policy loans at 2.5%. This comes as the 3rd plenum gets underway in the nation's capital. The twice-a-decade meeting of China's top leadership that has marked pivotal policy shifts at times. China posted lower than expected growth in the 2nd quarter as the economic crisis deepens in the country. In a challenge to achieve the growth target, China's June quarter GDP slowed by more than expected to 4.7% year-on-year as weak consumption and property continued to be a drag on growth. While more policy support will be needed to achieve this year's 5% growth target, the 2 big drags on GDP growth continue to be the property sector and consumption at this point of time. The hit from the property market should come as no surprise. Property investment slumped over 10% through this year's first half, and Monday's price data showed that the price decline continuing in June. Home prices in China fell once again in June, highlighting the difficulty for officials in reversing the housing market collapse that is hurting the developers and the economy alike. Prices of newly constructed homes in 70 cities fell 0.67% compared to a 0.7% fall in May. which is the largest monthly decline since October 2014. The value of previously owned properties fell 0.85%, down from 1% in May. The data further supports the idea that the real estate market's mood needs to be improved by the rescue plan that was introduced in May. Homeowners are now offering discounts to move their properties, so prices will certainly stay low. TSMC, the main producer of advanced chips used in AI applications, is expected to report a 30% rise in second quarter profit on Thursday, thanks to rising demand. Well, the world's largest contract chip maker, whose customers include Apple and Nvidia, has been benefited from a surge towards AI that has pushed TSMC's stock and the broader Taiwan market to record highs. Last week, its American depository recipients topped $1 trillion market value. TSMC also defeated market expectations last week as it reported a jump in second quarter revenue. Fireworks lit up the night sky around the iconic Eiffel Tower in Paris, marking France's National Day. The Bastille Day on Sunday. This time the fireworks came with a special touch ahead of the 2024 Paris Games set to kick off from July 26th. Drones en masse made shapes of Olympic signs and former athletes, including a discus thrower and a gymnast and Paralympics fencer. Well, this year's Bastille Day was celebrated without the usual live crowd owing to the ongoing preparations for the Games. Bastille Day is a national holiday in France. It commemorates the storming of the Bastille prison in 1789, which is one of the key events of the French Revolution. Over a dozen WION self-driving cars were vandalized in San Francisco. The incident was caught on the cameras installed on the exterior of the robotaxis. WION is owned by Google's parent company, Alphabet. This is not the first time that WION's self-driving cars have been vandalized. The company has been at the receiving end from some of the San Francisco residents. Reports suggest that many are against the idea of having self-driving cars play on the city roads. AI might be able to detect Alzheimer's disease in its earliest stages. And this is according to the University of Cambridge, where the researchers have discovered a new AI algorithm that uses MRI scan data and cognitive test responses to detect Alzheimer's. The technology could rather reduce the need for costly invasive tests in the future. Moving on to another AI-related news, scientists are using AI to study the oceans. They're using AI-powered plankton monitors to identify plankton in real time. Plankton are important markers for measuring ocean health. The findings from this program could influence climate change policy decisions.